Welcome to this explainer. We often ask ourselves, what's the ultimate predictor of your long-term trajectory? Well, I'll tell you right now, it isn't your bank account, and it definitely isn't your formal education. Today, we're unpacking a really fascinating motivational speech that breaks down the core of success to one great equalizer: time. Let's look at exactly how the source material argues high achievers separate themselves from the rest of the pack simply through their daily clock.
So, the number 24. It's an undeniable, universal truth, and the speaker in our source material hammers this home right out of the gate. Listen, regardless of your status, your background, or how much wealth you've got right now, you get exactly 24 hours in a day. It's literally this single metric in life that cannot be negotiated, you can't buy more of it, and you certainly can't expand it. We are all operating under that exact same daily constraint.
Okay, let's dive into this with Section 1, the ultimate equalizer. The speaker sets up a really fascinating philosophical reality here, completely reframing our standard justifications for falling short. Listen to this direct breakdown. I don't care if you grew up broke, the speaker says. I don't care if you grew up rich. I don't care if you're in college or you're not in college. Notice how these massive life factors, poverty, inherited wealth, education, they're rendered completely irrelevant. They do not change the fact that you only get those same 24 hours to make your next move.
Moving right along to Section 2, the success difference.
So if your background isn't the deciding factor, what actually is? Well, the speaker draws a really sharp contrast for us. On one hand, we have household names representing peak achievement, people like Oprah Winfrey, Ted Turner, Warren Buffett. And opposite them, what the speaker simply calls the person that's broke. The defining difference here isn't the vast amount of money they make. It's the intentionality behind their daily routine. The only difference that matters is that Oprah uses her 24 hours purposefully. That intentional execution, that's the secret sauce.
So, the crucial point is that your success is entirely dependent upon how you use the 24. This is the foundational argument of the entire speech. Think about it. If the hours in a day are fixed for every single person on Earth, the only actual variable in the whole equation of success is your execution within those hours.
Which brings us to Section 3, a personal transformation.
Now, what's really interesting about this is that the speaker doesn't just preach this theory from some mountaintop. They provide concrete personal proof. Just look at the sheer raw magnitude of these results. I went from being a high school dropout to selling 6,000 books in less than 6 months. The speaker says they literally blew up, and they attribute this explosive success entirely to auditing what was happening within their own 24 hours. They took complete control over the one metric they could actually manage.
But that transformation didn't come from a place of comfort. It actually came from a stark, almost brutal realization. The speaker explains the internal monologue they had. Okay, here you got to get a grip on your 24 hours because you're about to be broke for the rest of your life. Recognizing this grim, guaranteed alternative forced an immediate change in their behavior. It wasn't just a casual shift, it was a desperate ultimatum. Basically, master the schedule or accept lifelong failure.
Let's wrap things up with Section 4, the schedule test.
In the final segment of the speech, the focus turns entirely onto you. The speaker presents a really actionable challenge. First, you physically write down your 24-hour schedule. Second, you let someone else examine that routine. And third, they predict your future based entirely on those habits. The speaker confidently claims, "I can tell you all about your life if you just write down your 24-hour schedule for me." Pretty bold, right?
And this brilliantly illustrates a straightforward timeline to project your current, everyday habits decades into the future. They claim that by simply looking at how you spend today, they can tell you exactly where you're going to be in 5, 10, and 20 years. The core argument here is that your long-term trajectory is already locked in by today's routine. Which leaves us with this final, absolutely critical question to ponder. What does your 24-hour schedule say about your future? If someone looked at your exact daily habits right now, the way you spend your mornings, your evenings, your free moments, what 20-year trajectory would they plot for you? It's the ultimate test of personal accountability. The 24 hours are ticking for all of us right now. So how are you using yours?